What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review, back to talk about another episode of Expedition X. So the most recent episode of Expedition X was the episode about the Bell Witch. And immediately when I think about the Bell Witch, I think about the Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project came out when I was a senior in high school. True story here. We're going to take a little bit of a side detour here. And the Blair Witch came out in 1999 when I was in high school, and me and my friends went to watch it. Now, if you remember, the Blair Witch was one of the first movies to use like this viral campaign where they used the internet to create a bunch of fake articles, fake documentaries, to create all this fake stuff to lend credence to the fact that the Blair Witch is real. So when I went to see this movie when I was a senior in high school with my friends, when we stepped foot in the theater on opening night, we had this perception that there was a lot of people in the world who thought that this was real. And we didn't necessarily think it was or wasn't real. We were just sitting down thinking, all right, a lot of people believe this, let's check it out. And the Blair Witch Project blew my mind. It blew my mind. It was a new way to tell a story like this. It was, found footage wasn't this popular subgenre of horror like it is today. And it just blew our minds. So when we came home, we went back to my buddy Bill's house, and we decided, all right, we're going to go camping. He had a property that had a bunch of woods in the background, several acres of woods. So we go back in these woods, we set up a couple tents, and we decide to camp. We didn't make it all night. We ended up coming to his house. And sleeping inside because the Blair Witch Project blew our minds. And then literally that night when we came inside, we ended up coming inside like around 2 a.m. When we came inside, it was Bill's dad who woke up and came out, and he was like, guys, it was on the news tonight. It's not real. And we was like, what? It's not? So when I think of the Bell Witch, I think of the Blair Witch. So this episode was a lot of fun watching Phil and Jessica explore the legend of the Bell Witch and the idea of the Bell Witch having familiars, this wolf that goes with it, or is potentially the witch itself, and that the wolf is what a lot of sightings are. And when I start thinking about that wolf, I start thinking about the stuff that they saw there, going down in the cave, seeing the paw prints, seeing the bones stacked, seeing like little lairs and dens down in that cave, a cave that's highly inaccessible. I think about the well that he went down into from the Bell Farm with the scratches on the side. That's creepy. Let's face it, guys. All of that is creepy. I'm sure there's a rational explanation to all of it, but I don't know what it is because that's creepy. This was a highly entertaining episode. It was fun to see Jessica finally get a bit of finally have a bit of an upper hand over Phil, who, Phil is the skeptic, Jessica is the believer, and it was fun to see her kind of get that upper hand because there was stuff that Phil couldn't even explain. He was like, well, I don't know. I don't have an explanation for that. And finally, at the end of the episode, he had to admit, something strange happened. I don't know what it was, but something strange happened. Guys, I'm not saying that I believe that the Bell Witch is real. I'm not saying that I believe that the familiar, the wolf, I'm not saying that it's real, but I am saying that I agree. There was some strange stuff happening at the Bell Farm. Maybe it was all a hoax. Maybe it was all a hoax for the passer-throughs to scare the passer-throughs. And one of those passer-throughs even wrote it down, and they ended up finding it in this episode. Josh Gates himself ended up finding it. Maybe it's all a hoax. People were a lot more superstitious back then, maybe a lot easier to scare back then. So maybe the Bells were just having a lot of fun with people. Or maybe something really weird was happening. In this episode, usually in these episodes of Expedition X, I can usually, not always, but usually come up with a rational explanation for everything that happened. I had a little bit harder time on this one. And those are the episodes I like the most. The ones that I'm still sure that there's a rational explanation, but I don't know what it is. And it gets you thinking a little bit more. This was a good episode. I had a lot of fun with Expedition X. Season 2, Episode 2, The Bell Witch. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me here at the Oki Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.